when you eat badly, it promotes the expansion of unhealthy bacteria, which cause inflammation. Well, how does that happen? There's some animal studies that show that eating a ton of saturated fat found in meat and dairy mostly causes gut permeability. That means the tight junctions between the cells literally get severed. Then at the same time, you have all these unhealthy bacteria living in there that can traverse the gut. They can leave, these Enterococcus can actually leave the gut, go into the lymph nodes, and find their way into the rest of the body.
And through the bloodstream, right? They can get into the bloodstream.
That's right.
Because of this gut permeability.
That's right. And fatty liver disease is one of the diseases that I deal with, the liver, where there's a lot of accumulation of a lot of fat and inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
And this Enterococcus bacteria there's a link between even the Enterococcus expansion and fatty liver disease. Here's an organ distant from the colon, yet you can control inflammation in the liver. Locally, you can have T cell activation where you can have inflammation in the colon and have colitis, such as ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. But what happens is you have to respect the barrier of the gut, where things that are in the gut need to stay in the gut, and they cannot traverse the gut lumen and freely find their way into the bloodstream or the lymph nodes. So what happens is when you eat an unhealthy diet, it affects the gut barrier, the tight junctions. Mainly saturated fat is one that's been studied. And then, of course, you can have expansion of these bad bacteria. So furthermore, it's like a vicious cycle. More permeability, more bacterial expansion, more inflammation. So that's where, a lot of doctors are coming out and saying, eat a lot of fiber, because we know based on studies that fiber-rich foods actually cause the expansion of the health-promoting bacteria rather than the inflammatory bacteria by producing something called short-chain fatty acids. And these short-chain fatty acids locally work on the gut lumen and fix these tight junctions that were severed, but also distally from head to toe have an effect. So diet does matter.
This kind of explains to me why you get cravings for what you eat. Tell me if this is right. If you eat a lot of saturated fat, then you start to crave fatty foods because your body is full of bacteria that's been fed by fatty foods, and it's screaming out, give me more fatty foods. And same with sugar. The sugar bacteria are fed by the sugar we eat, and then we have more cravings for it because our gut is so populated by that kind of bacteria instead of the bacteria that love carrots, the fiber in carrots and broccoli and such. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, there's such a brain-gut connection. We think with our thoughts, with our brain, but the gut is in constant communication with the brain. The gut is the second most innervated organ in the body. So after the brain and the spinal cord, the gut has the most amount of nerves. And so the brain, the spinal cord, and there is innervation all along the GI tract, and there's constant communication. So the gut is in some kind of a homeostasis, and it basically may be communicating with the brain and saying, oh, I'm used to this type of sugar, give me more, and there's stimulation of certain neurons and nerves and biochemicals that are being produced. Now if you cut that off, there's cravings, and people often say when they stop eating sugar, they can't stand it for a while. They keep craving it, and but after a while, perhaps through the repopulation of the gut microbiome, you stop craving those bad things because now you have a totally different gut microbiome, and that perhaps switches what's being produced as far as neurotransmitters and hormones which communicate with the brain, and your cravings change. But you're absolutely right. I believe that most of it has to do with the gut microbiome.
So I think this is just one of the most fascinating fields because we're learning so much so fast in this arena, and the fact that our gut can discern everything from our mood to our weight to our protecting our cells, even to having glowing skin. What is the most surprising bit that has come out in the, let's say, the last couple of years about what the gut discerns in our body, and what was the most exciting, part of that surprise?
My biggest wow factor was the fact that the gut is very important in actually affecting distal organs. I mean, who would have thought that the gut has something to do with cardiovascular disease and lupus and autoimmune diseases? I mean, 20 years ago, this was like a foreign topic. And recently, it's crazy that we used to not even know about the power of the gut microbiome and how important the gut microbiome is in relation with the gut, and the integrity of the gut lumen is very important. So I think the biggest wow factor is how important nutrition is in the diversity of the gut microbiome, and how important fiber is in promoting that health, and the effects of it in the rest of the body.